What would you do if you ran a wildly successful mobile operation? But when you opened up your brick and mortar, things were completely different. Now, don't get me wrong, running a successful pop-up or farmer's market will give you skills that stack for running a brick and mortar operation, but it's completely different. Today, we talk to this couple to see how they turned their stressful business around with just a few tweaks that I think every operator should be considering. What's happening? What's good, dough? It's your boy Idriff, and today we meet back with Marcus and Amy of Hella Pie Pizza Company in Tracy. We last talked to them in 2020, and it was a whole different conversation. Amy hadn't quit her job yet. They were just getting ready for the brick and mortar, and gosh, that felt like a lifetime ago. Today, they have overhead, a whole different style of pizza. They've experienced staffing issues, business owner problems, and so much more. This episode has a lot of roller coasters, but a lot of lessons, and it's gonna be a good one. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And remember to always ask, what's good, dough?
Welcome back to the show, everybody. I have Marcus and Amy of Hella Pie today. Welcome back onto the show. How are y'all doing?
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on? You gonna join on our podcast?
Oh, it's a podcast.
Yeah.
I thought it was ice cream.
Oh, y'all. What do y'all sell out of here?
Pizza.
Pizza? It's better.
Is it free?
No,
Here,
we
hold
don't
on.
have anything in
Here,
there.
actually, hold on one second.
What? Do we have something in there?
I do.
Oh, we have buttons.
Thank you. Anyway, this is me signing off.
All right, thanks,
right.
guys.
Come back later when we do the outro.
That was pretty
That
funny.
was crazy.
That was great. We're at your restaurant. We're outside, and we haven't talked since 2020. A lot has changed. We're gonna be diving in on like what those changes are when we sit down. But where we're standing right now is in front of the Hella Pie bike,
The trike,
The Hella Pie trike.
the
right?
Hella Pie trike.
Yeah.
Tell me what it is. This is and what it does.
This is your baby.
Well, basically, the way that this came about was we were having some trouble on Friday nights. There was events going on downtown, and I saw, we were losing about $500 a night every time we'd have these events downtown. So I wanted to get an opportunity to get in front of those customers that were just a few blocks away. So I basically load this thing up with a bunch of personal pizzas, take them down to the event, and then try to make up for the sales for the day that way. And it also gave us opportunity to kind of get out in front of the public instead of, in front of the phones, just to make some in real life connections with people. in
Yeah,
our
and people
community.
see it like the kid, and they walk right up, like, "Wait, what's going on here?
Exactly.
What
Are you
we
giving out free ice
Yeah,
cream?
what are we selling?"
Okay. So is it priced the same as what you would find in store?
Yeah, it's actually what made us start our personal pan pizzas that we do in store. We made that option for this, and we sell them out of the store every day, and it's a very popular menu item now. So you can get the personal pan pizzas in store every day we're open.
Okay, so you have a personal pan pizza, like Pizza Hut, essentially,
Yes.
and you're using
yeah.
the butter crust for that.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a similar to a butter crust. We butter the pan, so it's kind of like baked in butter, so it's got like a kind of like a fried dough effect.
Very
Delicious.
nostalgic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but why that? Why a pan pizza versus like serving up something that you already made?
Yeah, so I logistically, like coming out of this trailer or this box, I was just thinking if I were to sell slices out of it, it'd be kind of like
Messy.
clunky. It'd be really clunky. I could literally just pull a pan out while lifting that door up, and so that's one of the reasons why we developed the pan pizza.
Yeah, they're perfect in these little
9-inch round.
yeah,
aluminum.
9-inch round aluminum foil pans that we use with the
Is
flat
this 9
top.
inches right
and-
here?
I don't know.
I
but
think
they-
so.
Yeah.
So you could
They
just
fit
easily-
perfectly.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So, about how you do you only bring this out on a Friday?
No, we'll use it for other things.
Sometimes we have it just sitting out here to draw people, you know.
As a beacon, exactly.
Hell yeah.
We've used it for trick-or-treating events
Oh,
and stuff
yeah.
like that, where we'll put candy in there instead. We'll go to a school and get in front of the kids' faces and, you know, pass out buttons.
Yeah,
chocolate.
we did the trunk or treat this past Halloween with this, and
so it's really a way to connect to the community outside of our building.
I know. And when we last talked, you all were operating out of a trailer, and that's no longer around, right?
No.
So we're going to talk about that decision just momentarily. But as you said, this is a great beacon.
yeah.
And I don't even think your trailer could fit here anyway.
No.
So this is a much
No.
better option, I think, for this little plot of land that we got.
Exactly.
It's fun.
Cool.
Mhm.
Anything else about this trike that people should know about?
We could fill it with personal pizzas and do birthday parties. That's kind of an idea that we've had as far as, you know, since we don't have the trailer anymore, which we're going to talk about, but doing, you know, catering that way. So like a kid's birthday party, a bunch of personal pizzas in this, have it at the party and be able to serve your guests that way is kind of a fun option too.
That's tight.
Yeah, the box itself fits about 50 pizzas in there, so it's a good amount of pizzas that can fit in there. This originally was designed for ice cream. This is going out in the summertime, so I really felt like I was having the easier job by keeping something warm in the summer versus keeping something cold.
Mhm.
So
How
it
do
really
you keep it warm? Just the
heat,
Insulated,
it's
yeah.
insulated in there and everything. So
that's tight.
yeah, and all the heat from the pizzas is just trapped in there.
That's
Yeah.
tight. Do you ever like get issues with the pizzas getting wet, or are you just getting them out so quickly that that's not even an issue?
Usually, if we're not sure about how many pizzas we're going to sell, we'll just bring about half of them so we can get them out very quickly. But usually, we're also just a few blocks down the road, so we could restock. We could write it down back here, or have Amy get in the car, which we've done before, and bring in a whole nother load.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's go take a tour of the kitchen and see what you all are cranking out. Ever since we last talked, y'all were doing wood-fired pizza. Now we're doing something else.
Yes.
So we got to see all this going on.
Right on.
All right.
Let's go take a look.
Okay, so when we first talked in 2020, lots of things were different, right? I was a different person. You two are different people. You all have like been in business for 4 years and you've seen a lot.
Mhm.
But what I was surprised most about that conversation was that you all were changing styles completely from wood-fired to not wood-fired. Why did you all choose to do that?
The biggest reason why is obviously we're 100% takeout. There's no sit down opportunities here. You could, you know, chow down a slice if you wanted to, but there's no official dine-in. We're not permitted to have indoor eating. So I needed to have the proper oven to make a to-go product. And so that's why I ended up, you know, making the decision to switch styles was just because I was doing all takeout. And that's the business model that we built here, is a takeout model. So.
Okay. And with takeout, you all started introducing slices.
Mhm.
How's that business going for y'all? Does it work? Some people love slices. Some people prefer whole pies.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I think the pizza by the slice is what sets us apart here in Tracy, because I think we're the only place that does it.
That's dope.
But yeah, it gives people an opportunity, you know, a single person to come in and just get a slice. They don't want a whole pizza. It also serves all the businesses downtown for people on their lunch breaks to come and get a slice for lunch. I have a lot of people that come in and they'll like design their own pizza. So they'll get a whole pizza, but they'll do it with slices by getting 2 of this, 2 of that, you know. So they have they're leaving here with sometimes 2 whole boxes, but it's all slices that they're
Damn.
getting to pretty much try everything or to appease all their family members. So I think it's great.
Did you all ever do like slices at the farmers markets or any events like that? And did it work?
No, that was always whole pizzas.
Whole pies,
Yeah,
okay.
12-inch whole pies.
And would you say that lunch is dominated by slices, or do you see a good mix? What do you think?
I would say our lunch is dominated by slices. The whole pizza orders, the bigger orders, the ones that draw the higher tabs, that's definitely more of a dinner time. But slices really keep us going during lunchtime.
Tight. Do you offer slices at dinner?
Yeah,
You do?
the whole time we're open, we offer slices.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that's sick. And out of curiosity, what's the most popular slice?
That's such a hard question. We do, what is it, like 7 different slice options every day? Trying to do the
It has to be, it's
5,
pepperoni.
8 different
Pepperoni.
slice options. Pepperoni, yes, for sure, is probably the most popular. Our Sicilian style slice also flies off the shelf.
Yeah.
But as far as specialties go, I'd probably have to give that to the CBR. We do a lot of chicken bacon ranch slices. It's a very popular one here.
You just teed that one up for me because we're going to be making that next. So definitely stay tuned. We'll do a tour of the pizzeria while we get set up for pizza making. But anything else about, was it hard to switch ovens? Because this is a beautiful oven, but you also had a beautiful wood-fired oven.
Yeah. The oven that was here actually before was like this big giant carousel type old school bakery
Baker's
oven.
Like this way?
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And actually the previous owners just took it out. So we just swapped this in place. So it wasn't that difficult. We used the pizza equipment pros that are like 20 minutes away from here.
Nice.
And then,
Super convenient.
it was
Hell yeah.
easy because they do it every day. We started out with 2 decks and then added a third along the way. So it's grown quite a bit from 2020.
Many congrats to y'all. And I'm sure there are more congratulations to be had. So everyone tune in. Keep tuning in. We'll go make some pizza right now.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. So we were talking about the CBR, it being super popular.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness, that dough is distractingly big.
Right? Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
I feel like we're commentating on the Olympics right now.
I know. Marcus is stepping up to the bench. Oh, that execution of the flowers, perfect. Are you watching the Olympics?
Yes, I am.
You are?
We're gymnastics fans for sure.
That's what we're watching too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swimming was cool too last night.
Oh, I didn't get to watch that.
Yeah.
Why are you gymnastics fans?
It's just amazing to see like the work that they put in. Their whole lives are dedicated to just being great at this one thing, and then to go out there on that stage and like just the way they get their bodies in the air. I'm like, how do they do that? And land, and yeah. And Izzy loves gymnastics.
Cool. Are you a Simone Biles fan?
Of course.
Heck yeah.
Who not
I would, me too. Yeah. I would say that I wish pizza was looked up in that same regard.
Right?
Some people look at it in that same regard, but I wouldn't say like the general public does.
No, people have no idea what goes into it.
Yeah. But I mean, Marcus, is putting in the time to be like,
Look at his form.
look at that. Look at that. That's that hunch right there. You could tell by his back. It's not overly hunched. And so he's going to have good spine health.
Oh, slap in the base.
Slap in the base. Oh, man. So wait, while I have you here,
Mm-hmm.
are you still doing home warranty?
No, I am not,
You're not.
actually. We opened in October of 2020 here, and I was still working full-time I was actually at a title company at that time. I was still working full-time and doing like the behind-the-scenes things here, working here as well. And I did it for about 7 months. And I don't know, if 2020 taught me anything, it was that life's really short and you never know what's going to happen. And I was still working in a career that I never fully loved. And I decided
Sounds
that
familiar.
I didn't want to continue doing that anymore. And we figured it out, and I was able to leave my job, which was super scary, all that security and everything, but to be more hands-on here and help him. And we're still married and we're still open. So, I mean,
Something's
worth
working.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is our house-made ranch, buttermilk ranch.
It was delicious, by the way. I had it before.
Oh, it's some of the best ranch I think in town. When Alistair came here, he was really impressed with this pizza, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to make it too.
Nice. Chicken bacon ranch was the pizza I would take home every single night when I worked at a pizzeria.
Oh, really?
I never got tired of it. But our ranch was, store bought. It was pretty basic.
Was that an escape from New York?
No, it was a stuffed pizza.
Oh, okay.
And you know what? I said ranch as a base because we didn't use ranch as our base.
Oh, okay.
We would use this like garlic butter. It would made it just even more non-nutritious.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but like I felt like the ranch really popped. Do you ever try going baseless and then ranch post bake?
I haven't tried it yet. I just really love the creaminess that the ranch gives it. It's, you know, it's just so good.
Yeah.
But I've never tried a bottom, like just plain base on this before. This is what
I feel like it gets dry without it.
The
Yeah.
love for the ranch here is real. Like, people will get a slice of CBR and a side of ranch.
Two
Like,
sides.
I just need more ranch for
I
this
feel
pizza.
that, dude. Yeah, because we would drizzle the crap out of our ranch on top, and then I would still take down an extra side or two. No lie. I like that you put red onions on it.
Yep.
It gives it more flavor
Oh, yeah.
and color.
I love the color that it brings. Also, the flavor's good, obviously, but when you create a pizza, I like to create it with some color in there too.
Yeah. Do you do anything post bake?
Yes, I do. I add fresh parsley
And Parmesan.
and Parmesan.
Beautiful. That's some color. Tell me about that chicken. That looks like it has some seasoning on it.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I love flavor. So what I like to do is just add our ranch dry rub. So the same rub that we use to make our
Ooh.
buttermilk ranch,
Ooh.
we rub the chicken with.
Have you always been doing it that way?
Yep.
Yeah.
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 We switched to a chicken breast. We used to use like a
thigh?
chicken thigh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but we found a product that we really like.
Yeah. I'm pro chicken breast too.
I'm
It's
gonna
my preferred.
grab this bottle from right here.
Were you all doing the CBR during the wood fire days?
No.
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 This was created here. We did some chicken pizzas during the wood fired days, but most of them were like a creamy garlic sauce base.
Yeah.
Or pesto.
How do you all reference those days? Like, you know how they say BC before Christ? Like, what is Hella Pie? Is it Hella Pie 1.0? What?
I mean, we're super thankful for those days. That's
Sure.
what got us started. That's what started this whole thing. So it's nothing but love for those days. Some days I miss it. And then on the 106-degree days we have here, I'm like, yeah, I don't miss being behind that super hot wood-fired oven cooking outside. But
Yeah. You just
no,
refer
it's
to it
definitely
as
bittersweet.
bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it just those days back in the day?
OG Hella Pie.
Yeah. Before, I always say from tent to rent. That's kind of like what we did. You know, we went
From
to
tent to
from
rent.
tent to rent. We were approached to do like this food show or something like that, and I pitched it like in the subject line. We never got it, but
Dude.
from tent to rent, like just kind of like that's our story. I feel like.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a lot. It costs a lot to operate this. You know, it's crazy. Like I was talking, $3,200 a month right now for our PG&E bill. You know, it's just all these bills that you don't really consider.
I thought I had it bad with my AC at the house.
Yeah, no,
3,200.
For here, yeah.
It's these ovens.
The electric
ovens and all the
Not
refrigerators.
messing around.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about do you? I think you said you got a good deal on like the space itself.
Yeah.
But like, what about rent here? Is the rent crazy?
No, our rent is reasonable. Our landlord's awesome.
We have a great landlord.
Yeah, we have a great landlord. We're super lucky in that aspect. So the PG&E is probably the worst of it.
Yeah, the PG&E, everything adds up. But,
Frickin' California.
You know,
Exactly.
we got a really great landlord that is really the reason why we've been able to survive. You know, the COVID years, like business was thriving actually. There was the next year when things started to change for us. So we dropped nearly $120,000 in sales from 2021 to 2022. And so, which we'll kind of get into later, but was really why we've had to kind of like keep evolving the business. And, you know, it's a constant work in progress.
Hell yeah. I mean, the goal is to stay in business. You're gonna have those years where it's down. You're gonna have those years when it's up.
Yeah,
You got to ride those highs, but also like watch out for the
Yeah.
lows and try to ride those too, right?
100%.
Well,
yeah.
when we opened during COVID in October of 2020, and everything at that point was takeout. That's all that was allowed, you know? So I think once it transitioned back to like everything opening up and people going out more, it's
Had
when,
more options.
Exactly. It's when people kind of started venturing out more, and takeout was like, we've been doing that for 2 years, you know, we want to go sit down and eat somewhere. So
Oh shoot! So having like this space without a dine-in kind of shot you in the foot a little bit. Okay. Gosh.
There's a lot of things I think that played in the
Sure.
factor, but definitely that's one of them. You know, I think we all got tired of eating the same food because, well, really the story I feel like was you know, you had a lot of small communities that were supporting local businesses, and they got us through, and then, you know, they were tired of eating our food for however long that was, and then so it was just like, you know, it's the weekend, let's get out. You know, we went from, you know, purple phase, you know, all these different colors that we had to just remember and be like, oh, I can't do this, you know.
Dude,
I can't go on the beach.
I forgot about
I
all
forgot
of
about that
that.
too. I kind of had a little bit of trauma.
Yeah.
Gosh, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we weren't allowed on the beach. I remember that.
So I think everybody
Wild.
just wanted to get out and
Yeah.
start living life again.
I feel that.
And that's why I think experiences have kind of taken it's run on popularity. It's like people don't really want things anymore. They want like an Airbnb or a concert tickets or something like that.
I've seen that, yeah.
So,
okay. I mean, it's kind of the same with this podcast, like doing these in person now, even though I started late, I feel like I can't go back, you know, like I was listening to our conversation on Zoom, I think, whatever it was. And like, not only did it sound weird because it was like through a computer, but it also like, I couldn't do this.
Yeah, there was no human connection.
None at all.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, for better or for worse, that pandemic really just taught us to appreciate like these moments. And I feel like these moments are definitely had over pizza, right? And so I'm hoping that it's going better.
Yeah, it is.
It's going really well.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Just got to keep at it.
Yeah. Keep at it.
Keep at it. Keep adapting, evolving,
Hell yeah.
changing.
Can you talk to your cool landlord about getting some solar panels for y'all? I mean, like, come on, dude.
Yeah, some solar panels would be nice.
That would be,
you know,
right?
You know, we just try to be on our best behavior with her, and, you know, make sure that, you know, that rent check comes in on time and even early. You know,
He's always early.
Good. I'm sure she appreciates that.
Yeah, it's such a nice thing to have relationships with good people that want other people to succeed, and I think that's our landlord's mentality.
That's good.
It's not a greedy landlord.
Yeah.
That's good.
You know?
You're blessed.
But,
Yeah,
we
for
are.
sure. For sure.
This pizza's looking pretty good.
Yeah, talk to us about it.
It's in the oven right now. On this oven, I like to cook it around 525.
Okay.
Minimum. It's an analog oven, so it's not super fancy. So the bottom elements are minimum, top elements are minimum. Straight onto the deck. When we first started doing pizza by the slice, we cooked on screens.
Okay.
We've changed that over the last few months.
Nice.
Working with Alistair.
Nice.
We took off the training wheels, as I like to say. And I think the bakes are coming out amazing.
I didn't even realize, I forgot actually that you all were using. That's cool.
Yeah.
What do you find is the difference, having probably pushed out thousands of pizzas on a screen, and now probably pushing hundreds, if not over 1,000 pizzas without it?
Yeah.
What's the difference? Definitive, man.
I definitely
just be bold. You could be wrong, but your experience.
Yeah, I've done, like you said, a ton of pizzas on both now, and I was really afraid of just the launching, not having perfectly round pizzas. But we've kind of worked through that.
Okay.
The difference, I think, though, it's just less work to just launch straight onto the deck.
Is it?
Yes, because what we would do is we'd finish our pizzas off of the screen. That process became pretty finicky, where if the dough wasn't right, it wouldn't come off the screen properly. So I was going to have to remake pizzas a lot. And so now if I stretch it out a little thin, it's crisping up immediately, hitting the deck. So we're not really throwing anything away anymore.
But in terms of like texture, taste, bite, do you notice the difference there?
Yeah, all the way around. It's not as soft or spongy. It's much crispier on the bottom. It used to leave these like little like round marks, and like sometimes it would sink in, so it would look like cleats were on the bottom of our pizza.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely.
So that is a texture, not just a look, but a texture as well.
Texture too, yeah. And it almost felt like, you know, like kind of like a paper towel, like because the paper towel's kind of textured. So yeah, the texture has definitely changed by just going straight onto the deck.
So workflow aside, you prefer this taste.
Oh yeah.
Not just because of ego and like saying that I cook with training wheels, but because like I want to be able to encourage people to use what you call training wheels if they have to, if there's no like negative taste aspect to it.
I think if you're cooking on a deck oven, then you should probably be launching onto the deck. If you want to use screens, you're probably looking at more of like a conveyor oven, and that's like either way, whatever your process is, it's cool. That's you. But just from my experience, launching straight to the deck without screens is a better overall product.
I want to be able to say that's you, like your process, all that. But like I appreciate what you said. How are the people responding to your newer pizza? Are they noticing the difference at all?
Yeah, I mean, I've had, people with pizza by the slice notice the difference, but we didn't make it like, because we changed I don't know if he mentioned this while I was gone, but we went from an 18-inch to a 16-inch for our biggest size.
Okay.
And we didn't want to really like talk about that too much just because we didn't want people to be, you know how people are. But no one's really said anything about it. The slices are actually bigger for pizza by the slice now. I don't know. The thing, obviously the pizzas are beautiful coming out without the screens. To me, it's like it's an aesthetic thing,
Absolutely.
Seeing the bottoms of those pizzas without all the little dots.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we've tried to keep it.
Yeah.
People have loved our product for a long time here, so we tried not to change it too much,
Yeah.
You tell them we went from like an 8 cut to a 6 cut
Yeah.
when we dropped our sizes. So actually, like she said, it's like almost 1.5 square inches bigger.
Yeah, the slices are.
The slices are. So.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we learned was how much cheaper the boxes are from 16 inches to 18 inches.
Ooh.
So like that was one of the reasons why we were our pizzas were expensive, because 18-inch boxes are so expensive to ship. You could only put one row of 18-inch boxes on a pallet coming from China, and 16-inch boxes you could put 2 rows. So that means the shipping is going to be cheaper.
Dang.
Thank you,
Things
Alistair.
like
Yeah,
that.
thank you, Alistair.
Thank you, pizza.
That's a gem. Oh man. So you put it there on that rack to cool off?
Yeah, it goes straight onto the rack to cool. That's at our expo station, so they'll be doing something else, making knots or another side. It goes on there. We let it cool and then put it in the box. Or if it's a case pizza, it goes on the left side. So all the case pizzas will be on the left, and all the to-go ones will be on the right.
Okay, cool. That's nice. How long do you let it chill?
Just depends.
Depends on how busy we are.
Yeah.
Totally depends.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong way.
I don't know. What's the ideal chill time? A minute?
Yeah, probably something like that. I don't know. We have timers here, but that's one of the things that we don't time. It's just like she said, it just depends on how busy we are.
The pizzas for the case, we let them chill for a little bit, obviously longer before we cut them, because we reheat them up front. But the ones that are for orders, sometimes they have to be cut right away if we're cranking on a Friday night. So it just depends.
For the slice case pizzas, are you cooking them like a tad bit lighter?
Just a little lighter, yeah.
Because you're rewarming them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever get people who say, I don't want it rewarmed up?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll have people that, they just want a bunch in a box there for later. They're going to heat them up at home.
But do they eat it on site and you kind of look at them weird?
Some people do.
People prefer their pizza.
Yeah, some people
I do.
prefer it
Yeah, you
room
do?
temp. Yeah.
I did it once and the guy at Pizza My Heart was like, are you sure? He's like, you're going to eat it here? And I'm like, yeah, dude, chill. Like, don't judge me.
Yeah.
I prefer a Hawaiian pizza room temperature. And
Okay.
yes, I love pineapple on pizza. Come at me. I don't care.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
There you go. I totally missed you, but there you
It's
go.
all good, yeah. Here, let's redo that.
There we go.
Don't make it weird.
Team pineapple.
All right, team pineapple. What are these little, is it called paddle peel?
Portion paddle.
Portion paddle.
Yeah.
You've been using these, right?
Yeah, we've been using them since when we were in the tent, basically. When we had the trailer, we were using the portion paddle. It just makes it easy.
Well, and for pizza by the slice too, we have to make sure that the slices are pretty much the right size, all the same size, so no one's getting a super small off-cut, slice when they're paying the same amount. So
The guy that invented the portion paddle, who manufactures them, got a contract with the schools, and I guess the kids were passing up all the small slices and grabbing the big ones. They said, "Hey, you need to figure something out." And so he designed this, and here we are. We're using it now, and that's what he does for a living.
It seems like a very niche product, but like, do you have any sort of idea if he's like a pretty big company at this point, or?
I think he does a lot of it himself. I don't think he's a pretty big company.
Gotcha.
But I see a lot of pizza guys like
hell yeah
with him, now.
Yeah, I feel like this is way better than what they use at Costco.
Oh yeah,
So, you know what I'm saying?
for sure. Cut it.
When you're ready.
He said
Yeah.
Costco. Now you want a slice of Costco pizza?
Do you like Costco pizza? So. Well, I wouldn't be mad if you did.
She doesn't discriminate.
Because that's the way. That's beautiful. Izzy, do you like the CBR? Yeah. No?
Wait, no.
Oh.
What would have to change on the CBR for you to actually like it?
The onions.
The onions?
And, like the ranch and
Everything basically. She doesn't like ranch.
You're
or
not a ranch
onions.
fan?
What's your favorite pizza?
pepperoni.
Pepperoni? Lit. A lot of people's ranch is just basically mayonnaise and onions, right? I don't know if that's how you make it here, but it's probably why you don't like it. Do you guys use onions for your ranch?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It's mayonnaise, buttermilk, and sour cream
Gotcha. And then the seasoning.
in our seasoning. Yeah.
Our super secret.
Super
kidding.
secret. Hidden value package.
Definitely not.
Oh, shoot. All right, cool.
But hey, that Hidden Valley Ranch packet, if you do make it at home, it's pretty dang good.
Honestly, it is pretty dang good. I mean, like, I didn't realize how good it was. And I used to think, like, all these restaurants are, like, having fancy ranch.
Yeah.
It's just Hidden Valley. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm with it.
All right. Well, does anybody want a slice?
Nah, I don't eat pizza.
You don't eat pizza.
Oh, I was like,
Go! I'm so excited. Thank you.
I don't eat your pizza.
of course they want a slice.
Let's talk about pan pizzas for a quick second. What are you using to press out your dough? I found out that whatever fat you use greatly affects the flavor of your pizza. And that is why the only brand I trust with my pizza is Cordo olive oil. Taste is everything, and other brands and other fats pale in comparison. Do you want to taste the difference? Go to cordo-olive.com using the link in the show notes. You can purchase a bottle there, or if you're an operator, you can get a free tasting. Just message me and I'll connect you with them. I'll leave my contact in the show notes. Thank you, Cordo Olive Oil, for sponsoring the podcast. One of the things pizza makers spend the most money on is cheese. Every time I have a catering event, cheese is my biggest ingredient cost. But what if I told you there's a cheese company out there that lets you earn cash back for every pound of cheese purchased? I'm talking about Bacio Cheese. And their Gold Club Rewards members receive their rewards card every month that can be used wherever Visa is accepted. So the more cheese you buy, the more you can earn. Literally, you get paid to use Bacio Cheese. Now that is cool. Learn more at Bacio Cheese using the link in the show notes. I'm gonna get a bite of this before I talk, but tell me what we're eating here and what's in the sauce.
Yeah, so you just watched me make the CBR, so you know what's on it. The sauce is a cilantro, jalapeno, kind of like pesto almost like, or chimichurri.
Cool.
It's got shallots and some agave, some salt. It's a good dip.
Agave, salt, chimichurri. Cheers.
Some oil. Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Some Corto, I think some 5149. Yeah.
I can't cuss right now, guys. Oh my
I'll
god.
have a slice with you.
I should have had it without, but I'm glad I had it with. It's delicious. Tristan behind the camera, you should definitely try it while it's hot, bro. This is fantastic.
Thank you.
This is fantastic. No lie.
Yeah, I wanted to create a condiment, and I had one more condiment that I want to create aside from like the ranch that we have. So 3 condiments total, and then maybe like a dry powder crust dust or something.
Yeah.
You know, just because I want people to really experience pizza in a different way than just how we're used to eating it. So I don't have to develop a new style. I just have to develop something that you can put onto the new pizza or to the pizza.
Crust dust. That's cool. I've had something called pizza dust before.
Oh, pizza dust.
Yeah.
Does Pizza Supreme Bean do that?
I don't
I
know.
don't know either.
It was in Boston. The name, I don't know the name, but it was in Boston. And it was just unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anything to help make it stand out. But this is fantastic, dude.
Good.
Yeah.
I like it.
I should be very proud.
I haven't
So-
had the CBR in a long time. It's
Yeah.
really good.
Thanks.
Good pizza, babe.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
So would you say you're working more now that you have the shop? I mean, you're open more hours, I'd imagine.
Yeah, so with the trailer, with the mobile operation, typically that was weekends. You know, it was weekend events, catering events. The farmers market was on Saturdays. We did the brewery on Thursdays. It was only a few days a week at the most that we were operating. And that was one of Marcus's biggest thing. Like, for this to get bigger than it is, we need to be open more. We need to be, we need to be a place that someone can get pizza, 5 days a week. So he was always looking for spots, always.
Yeah. In terms of hours, definitely more. It's when we opened up the pizzeria, I was working like 60, 70 hours a week. And, over the last few years, I've been able to knock that down to just within the last few months after, hiring Alistair. I've been down to like 20 to 25 hours a week. So I have a lot more free time to be there for the staff and support them when they need time off. Like last week, it wasn't such a small week in terms of hours. I was here all week. I was here like a regular 40-hour week employee, but one of my team members was able to take a week off of work, and then we weren't just sweating like having this guy take off because he's a crucial part of our business. So it's been really nice to be able to step back and just support everybody.
25 is dope. 25 hours is dope. 40 hours is way better than 60 and 70 hours, right?
Yeah.
So congrats on that.
Thank you.
Before we talk about Al, I wanted to jump on real quickly why you sold Gemma. Because, that's where you all got your start. That's how Hella Pie came to be known in Tracy.
He's smiling because I didn't want to sell it.
Yeah.
I imagine it was a hard
I
freaking thing to
form
do.
emotional attachments to most things in my life, and that was just like, it was how we started. It was the dream. That's where it came from, and that was our first big step, and it got us to where we are today. She got us to where we are today.
Gemma is the
Oh yeah, sorry.
wood-fired oven trailer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
We
please,
named
sorry.
her Gemma because she was a badass, and Gemma was from Sons of Anarchy. But yeah,
Emotional
side note,
attachment.
yes, but yeah. So that was a hard decision for me, but ultimately we weren't using the trailer anymore. It was just sitting out there, and it was kind of sad to see that beautiful machine essentially just sitting there not being used. We tried to up catering a few different times, and like we put some things on the books, and then every time a job came around, it was just like both of us were dreading it. And it's like, okay, why are we doing this anymore? Now, we loved the actual, being an important part of someone's special event, whether it's a birthday party, graduation, whatever they're hiring us for, doing that and being that for those people, that's the best part of it. But the work leading up to it and the actual doing it, it was a lot. And with, having an 8-year-old daughter and, all those events being on the weekend, it was just becoming too much to try to balance family life and work life. And if we wanted to be successful with our catering, we'd have to sacrifice our weekends. And that's when we spend time with her. So
If you want to be successful as parents in a family unit, you got to take time away from the work and the business, right? And
Yeah.
so it seems like an easy justification,
yeah.
even though emotionally it must have been hard.
Yeah, it was. I cried when she drove away.
Yeah, it was hard. I
He's old.
have less of emotional attachment to things. I think of things like very literal and can let go of a lot. with the trailer, like she said, it was just sitting there, and I knew that it had value to somebody, and actually La Feni's Pizza ended up buying it. So
Shout out Leo.
you know, we worked that deal out with them, so it's going to a good home. It's going to get use, and so you know,
that made it easier for sure.
Yeah, it made it easier, and now we have, you know, now we could look for things that we need here. You know, like I don't have a walk-in, I have reach-in, so something that was just collecting dust, you know, in my backyard, I'm able to, you know, use that money to grow this business, which is our new baby now. So.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, from a business standpoint, it is an asset, right? And it's money sitting there that's not accruing interest, that's not being utilized, so it just takes up space. I don't know were you just parking it out here in the back?
It was at our house.
At your house?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's not even legal for a place like mine because I live in an HOA.
Yeah.
But like, had you had it in like a storage place or like you had to pay for parking, that's a liability that you have to, you know, each month. So I think it sucks to say goodbye, I bet.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you all it seems like you all made the right decision.
Yeah, and it did take like it was like a huge weight lifted because having it still kind of made you feel like you needed to use it. Like we should be doing more.
Right.
You know, we should be booking jobs. We should be doing this, but now it's not there. So it's like, okay.
Yeah.
do you think that if the right job came, well, I know one of the things that you had said was like, we had limitations on the ovens. You could fit like 3 12-inch pizzas. So it's not even like a big job could come land on your laps and say, yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah.
That wasn't even an option or a case, right?
I mean, for us, it was always like, if you pay us enough, we're going to go out there and cook for you. And we get people that didn't want to negotiate. Sent them a quote. And those are the jobs that we would take. It would be the ones that, you know, we'd have to chase back and forth for a year and then know at the end of the day, it's, you know, they're not going to appreciate what we're doing for them. And so, it's just sad to see her go, but you know, we're definitely thankful to send her off to a good home.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Time in your business, time away on something else is time away from your business, time away from your family, right? Yeah. Time is something I want to focus on a lot because it's very important to me increasingly as I get older, as I have a kid. And I respect it so much more. And one of the things you all got back by hiring a consultant was time. Yeah. Can you talk to me about like what started the conversation? Well, Al told me that you were sort of interested in doing automations. But then it ended up just being like, let's give them back control of the business. Or that's kind of what he thinks he did for you. Yeah. Feel free to correct me.
Yeah, so the way that it all kind of started was just, you know, obviously we grew from our trailer to the shop. And, you know, it was a very lonely place to be, I think, for me, for a few years of just trying to figure out everything. And finally I just kind of had like my breaking point. Nobody really to talk to or relate to with a lot of these frustrations that I had. And so finally I had, you know, decided, like, I had met Alistair at a Stanislaus tour and really listened to him and understood like he was about the operator. And so I really liked that genuineness of him. He wasn't just trying to sell me another product. He was actually concerned about the processes that we had here at the shop. And we all kind of have the same problems. So finally I reached my breaking point was after I met him and I had called him and it was just like venting to him. And, you know, it just happened to work out where he was going to be out here for the Pizza Expo. And so we kind of scheduled it to be right after the Pizza Expo. And from there it was just, you know, on site, you know, and just hammering out a lot of issues that we had here. And what he was able to fix was pretty incredible.
What were those things that needed fixing?
Well, we needed to get some consistency in our processes. It was, I feel like a lot of the jobs we can be people-based versus a process-based. We needed to switch those from being a people-based to a process-based job. so that it was always consistent. So like somebody that, you know, thinks to take out the trash, that's a personal trait that somebody just has. They need to take out the trash. Somebody else is going to completely look at that trash and not even think to take it out. But if we have a process for something like that, then at least we know that it's going to get done.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, because like that's exactly the thing that I saw Al doing in Denver when I was on a consult with him. It was like cleaning the trash cans. I'm like, why are you doing that? He's like, well, I got to figure out if cleaning the trash cans are feasible and right how people should do it. Because if you tell 100 people to clean the trash, they're going to do it 100 different ways.
Exactly.
But like, what was the conversation between you two? Like, did you know Marcus needed
I didn't
someone
know.
to talk to?
Well, I know that Marcus needed help because he was just, like he said, he was at his breaking point. And like I was like getting to the point where I was sick of seeing him so upset and so frustrated. And it's very disheartening because we've put everything into here. And this was his dream that he came to me with that I've fully supported. But I'm like, man, you're doing something that so many people wish they could do, but you're miserable, you know? So that was hard for me. So when he came to me and was telling me about wanting to hire him and, all the things that he was going to help us with, obviously at first I'm like, oh, geez, like, are we really ready to commit? And this is a lot, not only financially, but time wise and things like that. But I was open to doing it because I wanted him to get the help that he needed.
You can't pay a price on like clarity and happiness and fulfillment.
Yeah.
And it's kind of scary that you said like you're doing the thing you love, but then you're also miserable because like I'm currently miserable in my job, but I'm like working a path to being full-time in pizza. But I have recently thought like, what if I'm just a miserable person?
Aww.
and it follows me, but like, I think that's just being like kind of negative.
Yeah.
But also like just understanding like we do have those highs and lows. So I'm glad like would you say Al helped alleviate a lot of those like concerns that you had?
Yeah, definitely. Like specifically some of the things that he helped us out was like on our dough mixing process, our recipes, they're all documented. We have we changed our dough process and how we store our dough balls because we were having problems with overproof dough, and then I'm frustrated because I have to be here because I'm the only one that can stretch overproof dough, and all of these little things that kept me here, and you're kind of expecting somebody else to just kind of figure it out, but it doesn't really work that way. And so getting those small details worked out and getting everything on a plating guide and a finishing guide and all of these little things that I didn't think of when I grew from a trailer to a shop. He's done it before, and he was able to come in here and really just help us fine tune things so that the staff has what they need to be productive and efficient. And so it was totally worth it. I can have a conversation with him, pick up the phone, and we're talking about important stuff. We're talking like I was explaining to him about our PG&E bill being $3,300 a month right now, and he's like, "Man, you need to get a oven firing schedule. Like when you turn that thing on, when you got to turn it off, you can't turn them all on at the same time because you're drawing all these amperages, and that's what's increasing your PG&E bill so high." So all of this information I told you, the boxes, why are you guys doing 18-inch pizzas? You should be doing 16 inches because you can bring your costs down. And all of these things I didn't think about. I never spent time in the restaurant business before, and it's just you can be an influencer, you could make good pizza. I think we all kind of fall in love with respecting the craft at first. We're respecting the craft. The second step to that is we got to find out how to run our business and respect the business side of it too. So that's kind of where we needed to be.
Yeah. No, damn, that one hit hard. I feel that. We don't know what we don't know, right?
Yeah.
And just because you love pizza and make good pizza, just because you can run a successful catering operation doesn't automatically give you the ability to run a brick and mortar,
Yeah.
right? Like you probably are much farther ahead running this than somebody who didn't have that experience, but there's still a bunch of stuff that.
Well, and there's for us, like, you know, there's a lot of pressure because this is our main income. You know, this is our bread and butter. Like,
livelihood.
Our livelihood. So it's huge as far as, you know, I know there's a lot of, you know, places that people still have full-time jobs and work outside of the business, which is fine. Like, everyone does it differently. But, you know, for us, it's like, okay, we have to figure out how to.
You're all in.
Yeah. We have to figure this all out, you know. We're all in for sure. But, you know, with my biggest thing with Alistair when he came in, like, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know really. I mean, as far as what he told me, like the documenting processes, having a manual, the plating guides and all that. But what he brought was so much more, because it was just having an extra set of eyes. And, you know, simple things like, he's like, okay, what are you guys finishing all your pizzas with? Well, most of them we finish with, you know, oregano and Parmesan. Well, why don't you just combine those into one so you don't have two shakers? You know, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, why didn't I think of that?
Free pizza Buddha tip right there. I've never thought of that either.
Why did I think of that?
Yeah, because then you have to clean two shakers.
Exactly.
Like, that's so simple, but it's actually a lot that goes into those two shakers.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sorry, I just shared a secret. Like, maybe
It's not a secret.
He does this to the camera. Free pizza Buddha tip right here. I love Alex.
Yeah, he does that to me. Here's your free tip for the day, Marcus.
No.
Yeah, I love him too.
But like, we used to have all of our cutters, the way we had them out, like, it was just kind of chaotic. And the way he went in and shimmied, you know, some of the, what are those things called?
All the sixth pans.
Yeah, between our two tables so that we could put our cutters in there. Like, it just cleaned everything up. And again, I'm like, why didn't I think of that?
It was the little things, like having somebody come in and look at all of the things that you're doing wrong is scary.
Yeah.
And I've talked to other pizza makers who are like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. Like, he was here for a week, and, you know,
he was a mess.
I cried the first day. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? It was so much at once, but at the end of it, it was like, I'm getting the goosebumps right now. Just like, it helped us out so much that
Pizza boot camp.
You know, I got some of my life back.
That's crazy.
And it's been such a blessing to our family, and, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, we could share a little bit of our story so that people go out and get help sooner than later. Because if had we needed to do this all over again, you know, I wish I would have hired somebody at the beginning
sooner,
because, you know, it helped us out so much.
Damn, thank you so much for your openness and vulnerability there. And then you sort of alluded to it earlier, but like, you said that there was a huge drop in business. We sort of talked about the reasons, but like, is that part of why you hired Al, or was that completely separate? Like, have you all, did that have anything to do with it?
Yeah, I think we were always trying to figure out a way to, you know, get that business back up. I think it was just like the economy, but then like we were also like, we bought one POS system when we signed up for this. And when we signed up our lease and everything, we bought one POS system. It was the wrong system. So Alistair got us on a new POS system.
Toast.
On the Toast, and you know, that helped us out.
That was the hardest thing for me.
And that
Why?
Because that's like my domain,
Yeah.
you know, and I was just, you just get so used to doing something, and we've been doing it that way for so long, and to like just revamp everything, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a headache.
It's like switching from Android to iPhone.
Exactly.
Alistair was like, you guys are still operating like you're in a trailer. You're like, you guys need to catch up, you know, and that's what he helped us out with, is with the POS system.
Yeah,
is
I'm
get
so
caught
thankful.
up,
It's
you
like,
know.
I tell him all the time, I'm like, I freaking, like, even when I'm on the app using it, or like doing stuff on the back of the house on the computer, I'm like, I freaking love this system. It's just so much better.
Why was I using Android this whole time?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you all Android users by any
No,
chance?
no,
Okay,
iPhone.
thank God. That was
Yeah.
good. I thought I was speaking to the wrong crowd. Okay, cool. Look, I think I'm glad you all were so open to share that experience. I'm glad you all are figuring things out. Like, business, there's a lot of ups and downs, as we kind of said, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm glad you all are riding those waves. But talk to me about like family too, because I see you all. I see a lot of smiles. The reason why we couldn't record the first time was you all were taking a weekend away from the shop and going to Pismo, was it?
Pismo. Yeah.
Like, how do you balance it all? How do you balance having shop 5 days and, I don't know, thinking about it all the time?
Yeah, you never stop thinking about it. Physically, Marcus, isn't having to be here as often, but mentally he's always here. That's not ever going to stop. But being able to have, our staff they're our family. Like, a lot of them have been with us since the very beginning, even in the trailer. So we are super thankful to have them because we trust them. It's still very hard to leave because you never know what's going to happen. And you still have like that guilty feeling like, oh man, like, checking the app and stuff. You're like, yeah, they're super busy right now and we're not able to like go help if they need us. So there's always that. But I think just having that trust in the people that you hire is huge, and it's not always that easy. So we're super thankful that we have people that we trust and that we know they can handle it, and gives us the opportunity to take Izzy and go on trips and leave and things like that.
Would you force yourselves to like not come into the shop if they're getting slammed and you're in town? Have you done it?
Oh no, we come here all the time because
I had a feeling you were saying.
Sometimes he'll be like, he'll look at the cameras and we'll see the spike in sales, and I'm like, oh man, like I know they're short someone tonight. We should probably go help. He's like, I don't know, let's wait and see if they could do it. And I'm like, oh, we should probably go help. Yeah. And we live right down the street, so we're not doing anything else.
Okay.
It's such a different.
But we know they can handle it. But also knowing that we're available to help, that's huge to them too. Exactly. Oh, sorry, did I cut you off?
No, that's perfect.
Seeing us walk in when they're like, oh shit, like thankfully they're here to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're your family too.
Exactly. Like,
so
we don't want to leave them hanging.
Taking care of that, balancing it out, everything.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I appreciate that answer. Is there anything you wanted to add?
Oh, as far as like our family work-life balance and stuff like that, we live down the street, and so we're able to kind of like be around a lot of the time, but it's nice now to be able to leave and be able to shut things off if we have to. Like before, with our old POS system, we weren't able to turn things off so easily, and it was just like super frustrating. So even though like things could go pretty crazy over here, a lot of the time it's like I'm thinking to myself like, they only have an hour, they're gonna be fine, you know what I mean? And so I've been able to kind of like train myself to trust a little bit more and not run away and run over here and try to save them, and just trust that they got it. And like she said, we have a great staff, and so it's not something that I have to worry about too much anymore.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing all that you've shared today.
Yeah.
And thank you for making the time. I want to ask you 2 questions before we wrap up. 1, what's your advice to couples with a family, couples or a family going into business together?
I stay in the front of the house and he stays in the back of the house.
Heard. That's yours?
Yeah. She's not wrong. I think that the reason why we work so well together is that I like to be in the back of the house, and then she likes to be in the front of the house. So if you're going to go into business with your spouse, make sure that you guys are kind of like opposite, and that way it makes it easier to kind of like run the business together versus like two couples that want to just hide in the back and make pizza. They're passionate about pizza. It's probably not the best team.
Yeah. My background is sales, and I was a bartender and a server all through college and stuff. So like I like talking to people, I like seeing the regulars come in, and I like being that face up here during the week, because I'm here during the week until about 4:00 most days. So it's fun to see like the same people all the time. And he comes up here and he'll talk to people too, but then he's like, okay, I don't know how to do this. I got to go back, and I'm not going to go back there. And I could make a pizza, but I'm not going to go back there and do that because that's his thing, So.
I like what you said earlier, like, this is my domain.
Yeah.
And I think everyone should have their domain and have like that respect and, like authority over it.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then final question, no right or wrong answer. What's good dough?
Ooh, you brought it back.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, the first time I answered that question, I took it as like, like fermentation, all this other stuff.
There's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong. I'm gonna switch it, and I'm enjoying making pizza. I'm enjoying creating. I'm enjoying my staff. I'm enjoying the community. And there's not a lot of like where I was feeling like I didn't want to be here anymore. So I'm back to kind of like doing what I love again. Mm-hmm. And I can't ask for a better life. Pizza's definitely been a blessing to my life and taken me and our family to a lot of places that we never would have thought. And I'm appreciating that, I think, more now than ever. So that's what's good though.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that was one of the things that the big takeaway from hiring, Alistair is I remember a couple of weeks after he was gone and we got all of our stuff together and everything, Marcus got really sick and he had to be home all week and everything here went fine. Like they didn't need him at all and he was able to rest and like recover. And I remember texting Alistair and I was just like, thank you so much. Like if this would have happened before you came, like he would have been stressed out. He would have been here sick, but everything was fine.
We would have had to shut down.
We would have had to shut down, which we've had to do before, you know? So I think for me, what's good though is just having that joy back, seeing him have that joy back, but also it takes a lot of pressure off of me because he has more time. So I don't feel like, I have to overcompensate for anything. And like, I'm able to do the things that I enjoy. He's able to do the things that he enjoys and there's no like guilt. So that's been huge to have some time back for both of us for sure.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, for being here, for being so open. I'm really lucky to have sat in this and I'm sure a lot of people are going to be sitting there on the other side thinking, wow, what a beautiful story.
Yeah, thanks for coming back or coming out here and, setting up this nice setup and, putting us out there to share, our story, but also, shed light on some of the real problems that we face as pizza operators. It's not all, glitz and glam. There's a lot of struggle behind what we do. So, anybody that listens to the podcast, if you need somebody to talk to, hit me up. I'm here for you. We all kind of need somebody to bounce ideas around, and I know the community, is all for that. So I'm all for it too.
For sure.
I know.
Well, there you have it. My conversation with Marcus and Amy of Hella Pie Pizza Company. Yo, Marcus, Amy, Izzy, thank you so much for spending your day off with me and my cousin Tristan. The pizza was smack, the location is beautiful, and I'm so happy for you all as a family to be able to spend more time together, to have this business humming, and thank you for sharing and being vulnerable with us. I truly appreciate it. To you, the listener, come on. Make sure to reach out to Marcus and Amy and Izzy at Hella Pie Pizza Co. Links will be in the show notes, but let them know what's good dough. Make sure to share this episode, share it with a friend, or do me one better. When I post this episode on Instagram, like, comment, share, let me know what your favorite part is. Just engage with it. I greatly appreciate that. That's where I want to know what your thoughts are. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment. Let me know what your favorite parts are, what questions you have, what other things you want me to cover in the future. Don't forget to subscribe to the What's Good Dough podcast. If you're on YouTube, click that subscribe button. If you're using Spotify or Apple Podcasts, click follow. That way you get notified anytime there's a new episode. I appreciate you for listening. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to do this week in and week out. I love you. Till next time. Peace.
Do you want a chance to win a $250 Uni gift card? Well, this is how you do it. Within the next 3 months, if you purchase something from uni.com using my affiliate link, send me your receipt. Each receipt that you send me, whether it's yours or a friend's or a neighbor's, will give you one entry into a raffle that will be giving away a $250 Uni gift card. That's all you have to do. All right, happy buying and best of luck. And thank you for supporting me and my show sponsors.